Hidden within the most remote reaches of the Himalayas, ancient manuscripts document a highly specific society known as Shambhala, a center for the preservation of peace and spiritual power. These records describe a concrete reality. They provide distinct architectural details, outlining towering mountain walls that enclose a central palace, all surrounded by 8 meticulously divided regions. This is a detailed satellite view of the Tibetan Plateau. Modern surveillance technology has mapped every inch of the Earth's surface, yet scanning the historical coordinates reveals only barren valleys, with no trace of the massive physical infrastructure described in the texts. This forces a direct question. Are we looking for the ruins of a physical civilization waiting to be unearthed, or a concept that exists entirely outside of geography? We possess a rich, detailed documentary trail, but absolutely zero physical evidence.
That specific contradiction makes Shambhala one of history's most persistent geographical mysteries. The concept originates in early Indian and Tibetan philosophical writings, where scholars first recorded the existence of this structured society. One of the earliest direct references appears in the Vishnu Purana. Here, the legend of Shambhala is tied directly to the Kalki tradition, marking it as a critical site for future spiritual restoration. Later, the Buddhist Kalachakra teachings expanded on this, formally codifying the kingdom's architecture. The text outlines exactly how the society functioned and the precise layout of its physical structures. According to these records, a ruler named King Suchandra received these teachings and secured them within Shambhala's impenetrable walls. The authors of these manuscripts presented their work as a truly functional, highly detailed blueprint for a working utopian society. Because the Kalachakra teachings provided such highly specific topographical markers, they directly triggered centuries of intense literal exploration. Explorers and spiritual seekers used these textual descriptions to launch serious expeditions. They pushed deep into Central Asia and the highest ranges of the Himalayas, only to hit abrupt dead ends. Some researchers developed alternative theories, trying to match the texts to the latitudes around Mount Kailash. The peak's horizontal ridges look like artificially constructed tiers, drawing seekers who believed they had found the ruins of ancient architecture. Yet every physical expedition has ended exactly the same way. No artifacts, no stone foundations, and no archaeological evidence of a kingdom have ever been recovered. This repeated failure indicates we should stop treating these ancient manuscripts as literal maps and look for a completely different interpretation. If we revisit the Buddhist Kalachakra interpretations, we find a different framework for reading these coordinates. Many practitioners argue the search was never meant to be a physical trek across terrain. Instead, reaching the kingdom is a process of internal navigation. Under this framework, the impassable mountains and rushing rivers are metaphors. They represent the psychological barriers and internal chaos a person must conquer. Locating Shambhala requires arriving at a state of internal peace, clarity, and wisdom. Human psychological turmoil acts as the primary barrier to a realm that remains unreachable through physical navigation alone. Today, we still cannot definitively prove whether the original authors were recording the faded memory of a real civilization or writing a spiritual allegory. But humanity clings to the legend for a clear reason. In a chaotic world, we have a fundamental need to believe there is a sanctuary where wisdom and peace are perfectly preserved. Through that collective need, Shambhala has evolved from a failed location on a map into a powerful human ideal. How do you read the coordinates? Are you searching for the buried stone of a lost city, or are you striving for a specific state of mind? The mystery of Shambhala endures because the true expedition was never meant to begin at a mountain pass, but rather within ourselves.